Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leo Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League news video. And today, guys, we have a decent amount to go over. There hasn't been a lot, happening these past couple of days. So might as well go over some stuff that's been happening recently to keep you guys up to date on what's been going on. We have some official moves that has been leaked in the past, and we also have another leak coming from GG Recon, which is very interesting, the leak they have shown us, and we're going to try and deep dive into it when we get there. So let's go ahead and talk about the first thing we got for you guys today. It is the Toronto Defiant signing Sado as their new main tank coming into this team. We knew it was obvious that there was going to be a new main tank at least coming for this team, because Beast, why would they re-sign Beast unless there was going to be a sub spot? Also, we knew KDG previously worked Philadelphia Fusion. We had Glister, who's been completely right with the Toronto Defiant the entire time. He said Sado was coming, and Sado is now on the Toronto Defiant, which I think is actually an exciting move to see how it turns out for this team, because Sado was a great player for the Philadelphia Fusion, but I think he was one of those players that only really worked on Philadelphia Fusion. He has that playstyle that fits for those players on that team, like Funny Astro, Alarm, Carpe, but now he's going to be on a whole new team on the Toronto Defiant. So far, the pieces around him are Logix, Beast, which I don't think Beast is going to play a lot, and you also have Ansunjay and also Aztec, who I think are going to fit really well with Sado's playstyle, and you also have the coaching staff Toronto Defiant has, which I think is going to fit with Sado, and just going to probably bring out a new Sado we've never seen before, and also the rumored off-tank that's going to be beside him, which is also from Glister, he's gotten everything right, is Michelle. We may end up actually seeing Michelle as well playing beside Sado, but I'm not going to talk about Michelle as much this video. I was going to talk about Sado, which I think Sado, I said before, he was a great main tank this past season for the Philadelphia Fusion. I think he'll bring that to the Toronto Defiant as well. Definitely a big pickup for this team. I will see how this turns out, though. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. After we watched him on Philadelphia Fusion for 3 seasons now, completely brand new team, going to be on Toronto Defiant, kind of rebuilding a new team, wanting that 2-year plan, and hopefully Sado and Michelle is going to be that core tank line for this 2-year plan for Toronto Defiant. I'm not fully 100% on Michelle just yet. I mean, I knew it's most likely going to happen that he's going to be signing to Toronto Defiant, but I don't know if Michelle's the right off-tank you want. But Sado Michelle could be a solid duo next season. All around, Sado, good pickup. I don't think they could have gotten anyone else that was probably going to fill that spot really well, so I think Sado's going to fit well in this team. Also working with KDG, once again, under his coaching, like he was on Philadelphia Fusion last season. So I definitely think it's good for Toronto Defiant to build around Sado once again, kind of like how KDG did on the Philadelphia Fusion, bringing that to Toronto Defiant. Really excited to see how this turns out, like I said already. Speaking about the Philadelphia Fusion, like what we're talking about with Sado, we have a new leak coming from GG Recon talking about the Philadelphia Fusion, and this leak is interesting, and if you guys did not see, sources say Philadelphia Fusion has signed Shockwave as their new DPS player, according to GG Recon, also kind of as Yiska as well. Yiska's also a really reliable person when it comes to leaking, and a lot of people respect how he leaks stuff. So, Shockwave coming into the Philadelphia Fusion, really interested to see how this turns out. They have Carpe, who is going to most likely start for every season in the Overwatch League, it feels like, for the future as well. And you also have EQO that has been re-signed as well. So, it's really interesting to see how Shockwave is going to turn out for this team. Obviously, double hit scan meta is going to be really good for Shockwave to play beside Carpe, or maybe they'll want to use Shockwave over Carpe at some points. Shockwave was a fantastic player back on Vancouver Titans, if not the best, on that team with his hit scan playstyle, and he can occasionally flex to other heroes as well. And Shockwave now coming on Philadelphia Fusion probably fills some holes the Philadelphia Fusion needed on certain heroes. And all around, we also have Overwatch 2 coming in, if that is going to come out next year, and it could fit Shockwave, doing some flexibility things and new heroes coming in. Shockwave could be better than Carpe at some heroes, but it all depends on how we'll see that when the time comes. So Shockwave and Philadelphia Fusion, I said already, interested to see how this turns out. I wish he went to other teams, but all around, if it's going to be on Philadelphia Fusion, great for him going on to a winning team, and he'll most likely get some playing time. I don't think he'll be benched for majority of the season. Like I said already, double hit scan meta. Maybe if Carpe ever wants to take a break, they put Shockwave in. I mean, we kind of saw what they did last season for the Philadelphia Fusion. They actually put Hisu in for a decent amount of time as well over Carpe on certain metas, on certain heroes. We'll probably see that with Shockwave as well coming in this next season with Carpe. So we're probably going to see some rotations in with Shockwave and Carpe as well, and we'll just see Shockwave once again. Now onto the Washington Justice. They have now officially said there are 2 new off-tanks coming into this next season. It is Fury, and it's also Rhea. Fantastic pickups coming from this team. We knew Fury, was going to be on a team instantly next season, and that ends up being the Washington Justice, making this team top 5 once again now that Janu's gone, and I think Fury is just going to fit so well into this team with Mag as well. Mag and Fury are going to be a top tank duo, going to be very aggressive and going to work out with this new team they're kind of building around with Decay, and I think Closer and Bebe are probably going to work well with Fury as well. And let's see how that works out with Supreme and also the new coaching staff that's most likely going to come into this team. I think Fury going to be a great pickup, going to work well with Mag and also Decay. And Rhea, I'm interested to see how this turns out with Rhea, because before Fury was leaked to join this team, kind of for Rhea joining this team because we haven't seen him play on the Hangzhou Spark in a while because of his wrist issues. So we'll see Rhea come back on the Washington Justice. He may end up having some playing time on his team. I can't really see it right now, but when it comes to certain metas, I can definitely see Rhea being played. If Rhea is better than Sigma at Fury at some points, same thing goes for like Diva. It's going to be hard to see Rhea really get a lot of playing time over Fury unless there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Then I can easily see that, but when it comes to Rhea, I just think he is not as good as Fury, and I think Rhea could easily go to another team, maybe the Toronto Defiant if Michelle is not going to happen anymore. I think Sado and Rhea could actually be a pretty good duo. You know, if Rhea wanted to get traded to a different team for next season, Rhea would be great on Toronto Defiant, but currently it's looking like Michelle. So all around, Rhea, Fury, the two new off-tanks coming in for the Washington Justice. Really excited to see how Rhea maybe ends up playing, but also really excited to see how Fury and Mag turn out. They're going to be a top tank duo for sure. They should be up there in the top 5, maybe even top 3 conversation when it comes to their tank duo line, so it's going to be fun to see that one. Now to this next one. You guys may actually not have seen this one or maybe be confused with it. It is Chengdu Hunters signing Nisha or Nisha. I don't know how to say his new name just yet, but if you guys do not know, this is actually Illusion, the leaked signing from Halo of Thoughts not that long ago, and he changed his name is what it looks like, and he's going to be a new main support for the Chengdu Hunters. I said this in my past video when I talked about Illusion being signed to the Chengdu Hunters, are now known as Nisha. I'm gonna say that. I've done some research when it comes to Nisha, and apparently a lot of people said he's a solid main support and he could be good for the Chengdu Hunters. That's all I really know about when it comes to the public opinion, that he may end up being a top main support in this next season for the team. But I don't know. I have not watched them at all. I don't really watch Chinese contenders as much, but I have heard some solid things when it comes to Nisha. Now on to the last thing, which is crazy to talk about, and he hasn't been traded to a team. It is Glister. He has been released from the London Spitfire. The last currently remaining player on that team is Fuse. He's most likely going to get released or traded to a team. And Glister ended up not finding the team to get traded for. Maybe he'll get picked up in a day or two when his video is uploaded. But Glister released from the London Spitfire. We already know that they're going to go towards maybe British Hurricane or just a whole new team in general. It's going to be EU, Western kind of team. And Glister being released, we know he's a top player. We know he's going to go to a different team, and I wrote down 3 teams that he could go to, and I definitely think these are most likely going to happen. Maybe the first 2, maybe not the last anymore. But let's go ahead and jump right into these teams Glister could go to, because he was a top player last season for the London Spitfire, and he can definitely change these teams that I wrote down for. The first team I wrote down is the Florida Mayhem, and I definitely think Glister, it would be a huge upgrade over BQB when it comes to the hit scan roll, and all around, Glister is very flexible, probably way more flexible than BQB as well when it comes to hit scan rolls, and maybe even some projectile heroes as well. Glister comes in, plays with Yaki, and that already sounds like a way nastier duo than BQB and Yaki. We know BQB is solid. He was a great player for the Florida Mayhem this last season, really unexpected in how good he was, and he played well with Yaki beside him. Now imagine if Glister came in over BQB, massively upgrades that DPS line in my opinion. Then you have Seoul Dynasty, I wrote down as well, would just fit well. He's obviously worked with the org before. He was on Gen G, so he knows the org a little bit. He'd be going to the team as their new hit scan that it should have been like last season with Prophet and Glister, and I definitely think Glister has potential to be way better than Fitz next season. Obviously Fitz performed really well last season, you know, especially near the end of the season. He was supported well to show off how good his hit scan plays was. Now imagine if Glister was in that position as well. We're up beside Prophet, and you just have all the support on Glister, and he would just perform so much more better than he was in the London Spitfire in his team. Glister would just dominate on the Seoul Dynasty, I feel like. Also with Prophet beside him, and just the whole team in general, Glister would pop off on this team. Now to the last team I wrote down. This is probably the least likely one because of the most recent leaks we got from Halo of Thoughts. It is NYXL, and the reason I say it's the least likely one is because Guangbong has been leaked to join this team, and he's a hit scan player, and it looks like NYXL's already kind of found their players they want for next season. So Glister going to this team is kind of unlikely, but still there is a chance. And I think Glister would probably be better than Guangbong, even though I feel like Guangbong's pretty solid, and he would just fit beside that team with Ivy. That DPS line would be so good for this team in the future. Also working with Yakpeng as well, and maybe a new coaching staff that'll be there, maybe not. But Glister would definitely fit well with NYXL, and maybe even some other teams. You know, kind of goes with endless possibilities where Glister could go. Maybe an unexpected team like the Dallas Fuel, even though a lot of people would not want that. There would just be double hit scan stuff all around there. He could play the Tracer, he could play some other heroes Dallas Fuel needs in that hit scan position. But all around, I think the 2 teams that come to mind is Florida Mayhem and the Seoul Dynasty. Maybe an unexpected one to be like the Shanghai Dragons, because Lip is there, they're only hit scan, and maybe they need a rotation of the Shanghai Dragons. They bring Glister in, and maybe Glister plays other heroes compared to Lip, and Lip plays with certain heroes as well. So there could be a rotation on the Shanghai Dragons, but I don't know if that will most likely happen, but I can also see it happen as well. Anyways, guys, that was going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. There wasn't that much new Overwatch League news these past couple of days. We have Sado to Toronto Defiant. That's kind of new, but it was leaked in the past. We have Shockwave to Philadelphia Fusion. That is new. And we also have Glister being released. That is new as well. Justice, that was leaked before. And Nisha was also leaked before as well. If you guys want to stay more in tune with Overwatch League news and Overwatch League stuff in general, don't forget to subscribe down below. And also, my Discord is down below as well if you guys want to come join that and talk about Overwatch League there. And don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.